Happy Motivational Monday. We are here and we are with all of you. Sorry for the delay. This is Monday morning and we're going to make the best of our Monday. Good morning, Trish. Good morning. Can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me? And I thought that I let you in, so if you want to go ahead and send... Yeah, there you go. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We had a long delay, but we are live. And so here we are. Welcome to Motivational Monday. We are here for you. What we would like for today is for you not just to live your life, but for you to live it with growth. Thinking about what you'd like to do and where you would like to be at this time. That includes myself. When we think about our lives, are we growing or do we just live and exist? I don't know about you guys, but I want to live and grow. Thinking about that, what does that mean? Good morning, Trish.
Good morning.
What do you think it means to bloom and live your life?
I think it means to continue to grow from your life, not just go with the flow, but take in every moment that you live and grow from it.
Um, when I think about living and growing, does it mean that we are living life to the fullest? When we think about our life, what is our life like? Are we really living it with our true passions, our creativity, believing in what we believe in, our full joy, gratitude? By the way, what are you all thankful for this morning? What are you all thankful for? I'm thankful that I have been able to protect myself from this heat. It has been really hot here in California desert. How about you, Trish? What are you thankful for?
I was going to say the same thing, that I'm able to stay cool during this heat. We've been having heat advisors from 100 to 102 in South Carolina, and I'm just staying cool.
Yeah. So living our life with purpose, how do we live our life with purpose? Because a lot of people are just living, and that's all. And when you see them, they continue to live, to exist. But now, think about a flower. What if you never nourished a flower? Would you expect it to grow? Well, of course not, because you know that you have to nourish that flower in order for it to reach its growth potential. I want you to think today about your life, and no one can live it for you. I want you to think about how you can bloom. And by your blooming your life to its full potential, how can you help others? Because we're about helping others. Monday motivation is all about mindfulness and being able to reflect. So let's reflect on the kind of life that we really want. Practicing deepening our full potential. Want to live life by that. There are many books about that, but when we think about it, are living our life with purpose. And when you meet somebody, a friend, a significant other, workmate, you can talk about these things in your life, that how you've bloomed and how you've grown. Have you seen yourself grow? That's another question. Seeing yourself grow. Living a life, not just getting up every day, but being grateful for that day and having a full purpose for it. How many of you do the same thing the same way every day? Anybody? Same way every day. Does that provide growth for you? Of course not. We think about our blooming, our achievement, our development, a full bloom. How many of you have seen a flower at full bloom? Anyone?
I have.
Yeah. How do you feel about that flower in its fullest bloom?
I always feel amazed and like it's so beautiful because it doesn't seem like it can bloom like that because of how the bud is in the flower, and when it blooms it's like wow, that's amazing.
Life is all about learning every day. Believe it or not, um, when we grow, when our state of mind is producing development, uh, we can see the full potential of a flower because that flower has produced the petals, flower petals. But now, when you bloom, is it apparent? And do you see it? Because we ask the question, I hope they see that I've grown. But how does it help you to be able to bloom in your full potential? When you are in bloom in your life, you begin to feel it, you see it, and you come to understand that life is more than just waking up, getting up to get the day started. It's more like waking up and getting up with a purpose. So how do you see it? And are we practicing that? Do we practice that? And we like to talk about blooming in the illustration of a flower. We all know what it takes to care for and nurture flowers. They don't bloom in any way. Some flowers do, I should say that. Some flowers do, bloom, but those are wildflowers. They get no rain, especially here. The flowers get wildly growing. But do you really want a full purpose? Today we're going to talk about 3 examples. 3 examples of women that have inspired others. And let's see how you feel about that and where you are in life. As we thought about the COVID, we were all shut in. Some of us got closer to family. Some of us even learned about our family. Everything must grow. So today we're going to talk about how you look at life and how it's going to help you. We talk about challenges in life. All of us are challenged as we grow. And there was a woman, the first woman, who had, right before the pandemic, wanted to travel. She was expected to be at live events, speaking engagements, but all of that got canceled. But she still had her challenges. And on top of that, she had to recover physically from an injury because she had major surgery. By the way, woman number 1, she's still recovering. You know what's amazing? Is that during her recovery, she says, and I quote, "I'm doing a lot of virtual speaking." And virtual speaking was basically non-existent before the pandemic started. How does she feel about what she's doing? She loves speaking in groups and all around the world just from being on the computer. Can you see how she lives? Because before the pandemic hit and challenged her life, she was able to travel. All of that got changed. What can we learn from woman number 1? Today is not Friday, so we're not going to get into the challenging part. We want to motivate you to think about the things that we never give thought to and may take it for granted because we've always been in our norm, our normalcy of life, whatever that may be. But have you learned to adjust as you grow? Because you see, that woman grew. She learned how to navigate herself and still do the things that she was doing before. Because I'm going to tell you, Trish and I are witnesses to this. By your being able to virtually still have your plan and your purpose, you can travel the world. And that's what we've done sitting right in our homes. Have we not, Trish?
Yes, we have.
Staying positive is the key. And when we stay positive, we have to train our brains to see the purpose every day. What does your brain see that you can do and how you grow. We have to accept the challenges along the way. And, and when we accept it and practice, we welcome the sunshine into our life. By the way, that's another thing that a flower needs. How many of us have let our energy flow just by an idea that we thought? Maybe we're working on something, and our ideas become so energetic in our minds that we can actually touch the idea and it becomes our creativity. Anybody know about that?
I do.
Yeah. Tell us about that, Trish.
It's like when I get an idea for music or just creating something, it's like my drive. It's like I see it in my head, but I so badly want to see it in front of me. Like, if I think of a melody, I sing it so I can hear it. And when I put it to some music, it's like, wow, my thought actually came to life. And that makes me happy the entire day that I actually put something that I thought into reality.
Yeah. Blooming from that creativity. When we think about everything that challenges us, let's think about how we can encompass that into our life to provide a growth in living for us. Here's the thing. Writing down 5 things in which you are grateful for. 5 things. And we do that in here by having you every morning say what you are thankful for. Interestingly enough, when you plant a seed, that seed needs or will have darkness. Its atmosphere as you plant it will be cold. But here's what helps it to bloom. Pressure. Everybody know about that? Pressure. Challenges to grow. Here's woman number 2. Here she is faced with the pandemic. And before the pandemic hit, she had a beauty business all about skincare. How would she overcome this? Or how would she challenge herself to grow for herself and her business? Because she could have just said, well, I don't know what to do now. See, because no one could control the pandemic. We didn't know how long it was going to last, and we all had to learn new ways to grow. Woman number 2 that owned the business found a different way. As she took a look at herself in the mirror, she wanted to reach out even more. She says that life was an emotional period for her. She decided that she was going to deactivate her social medias and put her phone away. Now, how could she grow from that? Now, as she rethought it, she was an influencer. You know, the one that is a social media influencer. She understood in order to keep the business, if she wanted to be the boss, she had to understand how to challenge herself. We've learned in Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast to set boundaries and not have a lack thereof. We've learned that we cannot change anyone's thinking, but we can change how we think and how we access their energy. Staying positive, staying positive. Whatever happens in life, whatever has happened to you as a child, you've now become the person that you are and still more growing. When we were kids, maybe things didn't go as planned. But now you are in control of yourself. Do you see your perception of you as you stand in the mirror? Are you still living? Who is your inner sunshine? Remember, we talked about the seeds and the environment. See, in order to pressure that seed to grow, we must let the sunshine in. So let's think about this. How did she challenge her business of skin care to grow? Because you see, we were all on lockdown. We couldn't go in, we couldn't go out, and you know the whole story. She began to feed into herself a change. And so what she did was take action on her caring for herself in a self-love, feeding it and nourishing it, because it just wasn't about the people, but she needed to include herself about that. So, what's your challenge, and why do you still stand there living? What do you do in the sign of adversity? She began to have a change of thought, have a change of heart, and she got well on her way. Everyone was affected. Everyone was affected by the pandemic. Now, woman number 3. Woman number 3 inspired many people, because you see, woman number 3 was dealing with several challenges. She had no legs. Imagine that. But every day she decided that she would exercise. Imagine that. See, because the pandemic had come and it would make it difficult for her even now to get out. Maybe even to have the help that she needed. So now what? Was she going to live without growth? Was she going to stop living because of these challenges? No. She became an inspiration because when the people checked on her, she was exercising. Now, of these women that we have talked about today in the face of blooming, did they bloom? That's for you to think about. But I want you to know, if they can do it, how much more can you do it? Blooming. I want you to think about your life and how you use it. Blooming. Blooming signifies growth. When was the last time that you actually had to grow? To grow. And we want you to think about when you had to. You know, life is not always made up of tragedies. So I don't want this to be a podcast episode on tragedy. You can grow from happier times as well, but I want you to stay aware of the need to always grow. You know, a lot of people like to talk shop. What do I mean about talking shop? They do this idle talking and you never see them progress. See, I like to see a person progress, and this is why Vibe Talk means so much to me, because once you get in Vibe Talk and you become a part of that, my job is to let you talk it out and see what you'd like to do. And then once you tell me you'd like to do that, we work toward it. Nothing stays the same in Vibe Talk. It's always blooming. So, when we think about blooming, it reminds me of flourishing your life, so that you become the beautiful flowers, so that when people look at you, they say, wow, that person has really grown. Don't give up on yourself. Moving on to relationships in blooming. When you see a person's growth, you are more prone to be attracted. First to yourself, you find out things you like about yourself, because sometimes it can be very hard when you like nothing about yourself. And then as you work on yourself, you start to do what? You start to develop, hey, I like me. And as you become more attractive to yourself, you're going to become more attractive to others. You're going to have good feelings about yourself. You're going to be more confident. And when you are that, your relationships become stronger. It's so important. That is what makes a relationship grow, when you both share or pour into working on yourselves to become and develop a more stronger person, an inner person, that is. How have you bloomed is the question. Or have you? Because you can choose two things. You can choose not to grow or to grow. What have you not grown from, and what do you want to grow from? I want to grow from saying how I really feel without fearing what the response will be. Because after all, they're my true feelings, and nobody can deny it. See, that's part of growth, and that's what I've been working on, my true feelings. In fact, I got a text just yesterday, and I'm going to just tell you what the person said about me. Okay? I've just got to share this with you guys without getting all into it. Front Street is what they called me. And they put a thumbs up because I was concerned about something, and I was able to bring it to their attention. Bring it to their attention. People will respect you more. And it's not always what you say, it's how you say it. So that part. When you say, well, how do I tell somebody? People come here and vibe talk. We have group sessions. We have individual sessions. They don't know really where to begin. And so what we say is say how you feel. And if they really haven't been able to address their feelings, can I share something with you? We start from the dark places, and then we allow the environment to become graceful for them to be able to tell us. That is where we see growth. I've seen it in all of my clients, including myself. So how do you bloom? Or are you just up out of bed and you're able to not think about how you want to grow? I encourage everybody here to start a plant. I gave this assignment some time ago. And as you start a plant, I don't care if it's a tiny kindergarten styrofoam cup. Here's why I'd like you to experiment with this. Because how you take care of that plant is how you're going to take care of yourself. Try it. And that's why they use it in kindergarten for growth development. You've all probably done that in grade school, kindergarten, as a science project, started your own plant. How you're going to take care of that plant is how you take care of yourself. Get started on that and let me know how it's going. Because what you put into that plant, it's what's going to come out of it. You want the best blooming possible? Nurture it. Give it sunshine. Make sure it's in the right environment. Blooming. How do you bloom? Everybody takes care of themselves in different ways, right? We all take care of ourselves in different ways. But I want you to be the lovely flower. I want you, when people look at you, to say, isn't he lovely? Or isn't she lovely? That you are a loving being of yourself. That you can get to that point of just being a lovely person, myself included. Myself included. I want you to say, I'm blooming. You know what that actually means? That there's a version of yourself that is more healthy. And when people look at you, they can tell that you are healthy. You're not the same. We've seen wilted flowers too. We've all seen it, especially in the summer months where it's hot. The sun just zaps the energy out of you, leaving you no room for growth. I'll tell you what I've seen too. I've seen wilted flowers. My mother is so good with flowers. I love flowers, but don't let me handle your flowers because I overwater. Sometimes I forget. But now as I'm talking to you, I realize my mother, when I was a little girl, put so much time into her flowers. And as she would nurture her flowers, even some of the roses that were dead, my mother could prune those flowers and they come back to life. If a flower can do that and bloom again, so can a human. It is remarkable that my mom was always able to do that. And to this day, when we're in conversation, I still can't understand it, but I have an appreciation of the flower and its blooming process. My mom would yearly prune her roses, but they would really come back. Many of them, if you could save them. My mom would put vitamin uh, into the plant. And I remember doing this as a young girl growing up. I learned so much. How do we water ourselves? How do we feed into ourselves to be bloomed? When we talk about being in bloom, there is a period of growth. We want you to know that the three women that we talked about, the pandemic represented the dark parts of them. But their mindset was the sunshine that God let in, and for them to challenge themselves during the pandemic was the pressure that they faced. And they kept growing. I want you to think about taking the time with yourself. Because, we use growth, we use blooming as part of our process in Vibe Talk. So today, could you be more gentle with yourself, knowing that you are just human? You're going to have setbacks. You're going to be like those flowers who may have wilted, who may need a little bit more attention, who may need to be nourished. But that's all part of the flower process. You are more superior than a flower. There are different stages to you, my friend. I want you to give yourself time to bloom. We all take time to do whatever it is that we like to do. I like photography. I like music. So I give time to that. Whatever you're giving time to, give just a little bit more time to be gentle with yourself. Not thinking you're a waste of time. I want you to live your life to the fullest. Do you want to? Do you want to live your life to the fullest? Because some people just wake up and start the whole process of just waking up and do the exact same thing every day. Switch it up. You want to blossom in life and create for yourself purpose? Think about 5 things that you want to do. Right now, I could think about 5 things I want to do before the summer is over. Make it short term, because everything does not have to be done far and out of range. Put it in your focus, and even with the little things. If you want to read a book, start with 1 page, because therefore you can say, I'm now reading a book. You don't have to read the whole chapter. If you want to watch a movie, you don't have to finish the whole movie, but start from somewhere. You know, it's like waking up, and when you put your feet on solid ground after you do the stretching, can you feel yourself stretching? How many of you can actually feel yourself stretching? Because we all do that before we get out of bed. How many of us do that before we actually get out of bed? All of us? Yeah. And then we get one foot out, and then we get the other foot out until we find ourselves out of bed. That's our goal, to get you up and out of bed. People want to know, where can I start? Or they want to have me answer all their questions. But you know what? Life is, for us, for you and I, a journey. On the way to the journey, during the journey, you're going to come up to a lot of things. We're going to be right back with Tricious Treasures. Don't you go anywhere. We're going to be right back.
Feel free to be interactive and tell us your story. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, YouTube, and Mixlr. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. Go give it a shot.
We're back, and we are discussing life, living and blooming on this Motivational Monday. Trish,
So I wrote in my journal about during this podcast, and I'm gonna show you guys what I drew. So I drew someone sitting in front of a mirror, and I wrote that blossoming is all about seeing how far you can go, seeing past the reflection of you. So what I wrote on the mirror is the things that I see past my reflection, which is I've blossomed in happiness, I blossomed in creativity, confidence, love, having boundaries, empathy, and compassion. All these things that I have grown to practice in my life plays a big part in how I'm blossoming as who I am as a person. And the first thing that fascinated me about plants is how we may think, oh, we have decomposed vegetables and that's disgusting. But when you put the decomposed vegetables and scraps inside the soil, it actually helps the soil fertilize and it helps the plants grow in a healthier way. And to us, it seems gross because who wants bad tomatoes in their refrigerator, and who wants to keep that in there? But for all the flower growers here, the gardeners, we use that to help the plants grow, and we can use our challenged experiences to help us blossom. And what's important about that is we learn from our experiences, and what helps us fertilize, which is grow, and what molds us into who we are is the lessons we learn from it and when we use it. So everyone has somewhere to blossom, and we can all blossom into a beautiful bouquet because we have so many areas that we can blossom in. We can blossom in confidence, blossom in accomplishments, we can blossom in our character, we can blossom in our consideration for others, and we can blossom in our self-love towards us, to our own person, who we are. And we all have the opportunity to blossom. So continue to blossom into who you are, and don't lose hope in where you are right now, because there's always room for growth. There's always room for blossoming.
Thank you for that. Yeah. I'm hoping that your Monday, motivation helps you to not just live, but bloom in whatever you're doing, whatever your purpose is in life. Here's something to think about when you look back on your life and your journey right in this very present moment. Can you see the seasons in your life? We are like those seasons. Our trials are like those seasons and the experiences that we have throughout the year. We have experienced our own seasons, such as our winters, our springs, our summers, our falls, and a lot of these seasons have left us feeling lost, tired, and just done. But it is up to us and our purpose to stay encouraged and be mindful that things will and do get better. I want to thank my amazing co-host, Trish. Thank you for being here today. I apologize for the technical issues we were having. We are live. If you want to share this program, we're always titling it. And I don't have a song for today. I'm leaving that to Trish today. Trish gets to do that today. I don't have a song. And go listen to our YouTube page. We're streaming all over the place in some of your favorite listening platforms when you want to hear a podcast. Look for Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast and welcome in our new family member, Vibe Talk After Dark. Last night was all about the celebration of love. Go check it out. Let me know how you like it. And I want to thank you to the audience out there. And one more thing. Today is Motivational Monday. You can always comment. You can always text in. You can always leave us a voicemail on our Spotify and our direct connect. 661-503-8993. Thanks, everybody, and we hope that you will bloom while you're living. Have a great day, everyone.
Because I don't want you just to take a resolution. I want you to think about I was really about to lose it, then I got the vibe with it. I really took the time with it. I really love the ride with it. 3 years, when they got the vibe with it. I took the time with it. I really love the ride with it. You can probably see I'm better you. When you get the vibe with it, yeah. When you get the vibe with it, yeah.